Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Sammy Plans. If you're new here, I'm so happy you have found my channel and hope that you stick around. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my planning content here on YouTube. Today, I am going to be starting a new series where I'm talking about different lifestyle topics or themes for each month, and I'm going to give you about 5 to 10 tips or ways that you can practice this idea more in your life. And today I am kicking it off with one thing that's come very true and special to my heart, which is living with intentions. If you're new here, intentional is my word of the year. And so I wanted to kick it off with sharing 10 ways that you can be more intentional. So my first way that you can live more intentionally is to set clear goals. I'm not going to talk too much about this one just because I feel like a lot of my channel has morphed into not just planning but goal setting, because I am using the Moxie Life Planner, and within that weekly planner there is a goal setting system. But I really have felt like I've already started living a more intentional life by using that system and breaking down my goals so that they are clear and I have that roadmap of what I really want to accomplish in my life. And that all goes back to what's most important in my life. So for example, I'm on a health journey, and one of my annual goals is to lose 90 pounds. I want to lose some weight and just be healthier and get more energy. And so that is one of my goals. And I've broken that 90 pounds down into smaller increments, whether it's through my quarterly goals or my monthly goals, weekly action steps. There's always something that I'm working on to reach that overall stretch goal. And so that's the first way that you can live more intentionally, is to figure out your goals. If you want to share one of your goals down in the comments below, I would love to hear about them, because we're always cheering each other on over here when we talk about goals. My second way of living more intentionally is prioritizing things. I have started doing this most recently, where I have 3 things I want to focus on for each day. In the past, I would write these monstrous long to-do lists and expect myself to get all of these tasks done, and it was between like 10 to 20 different tasks. Now I just focus on 3, and I feel so much better because I'm actually getting those 3 things done. But I'm also being more intentional about things. When I sit down to make my weekly plan, you've seen Plan With Me's, I have a notepad off to the side where I've already pre-planned out my week, and I've created those to-do lists based on what's happening that day and what I know that I can get done. And so it's very important to prioritize things so they actually do get done, and you're honoring yourself, your time, those around you, and overall just feeling more intentional about things. Third is mindful decision making. Mindful decision making is very crucial when it comes to living an intentional life. Before I make any big decisions, I look back on my long-term goals, my standards, my morals, priorities, what matters most in my life, and see if it really does align with that. And if it aligns with all of those things, then most of the time it's a yes. If it doesn't align with those things, then it's a no. I feel like once you have come up with what is most important in your life, that really helps lead your intentional life so you can live that life that you want to live, essentially. So for example, I know I'm always talking about how hard teaching is, and it is hard, but I love it at the same time. It's my passion. I have always known that I wanted to be a teacher, and that is the career that I wanted to have. And yes, there's that passion there. I feel very fulfilled by this career that I've chosen for myself, but it's also helped me in other aspects, like with my family. I also have always wanted to be a mom. And I know that with being a working mom, I'm not always there for my kids, but with being a teacher and having the summers off, I'm still able to be a part of my daughter's childhood. We're able to still do a lot of fun things throughout the summer. So I get to have kind of the best of both worlds there. But that was one of the things that helped me decide I wanted to be a teacher. Yes, there was the passion, but it also aligns with my very big value of family and being a mom. And so I want you to think what matters most in your life and how can you structure that in a way to help you make mindful decisions. Number 4 is probably one of my most new favorite things, and that's time blocking. A few weeks ago, back in December, I'll make sure to link the video up in the cards above, but I created a video of me doing a time blocking exercise. And what time blocking is you are allotting time during your day to certain tasks. And so here is kind of like my example from when I did my time blocking activity. Everything's color coded based on what area of life these things fall into. But if you want to watch the video, it's more in depth there. But I've given myself time for everything that is important and that I need to get done during the day. Like my AM and PM routine obviously works on here. Making dinner, family time, working out, getting my daughter to bed, reading, excuse me, sorry, going to church, those types of things. I have felt that when I focus my time in allotted slots like that, I feel more productive because then everything's like an appointment. And you're never going to just not go to a doctor's appointment, right? Or dentist appointment or whatever appointment it is. You're going to go. And so when everything has its allotted time, like an appointment, I feel more committed to it instead of just writing in my planner, working out or me time. It's just something that's helped me be more intentional about those tasks. Number 5 is to limit your distractions. Distractions are the enemy of living an intentional life. And honestly, they vary depending on who you are. Obviously, I feel like phones and technology are a very big distraction to all of us. One way that I eliminate distractions on my phone is I have no notifications. I turn all of my social media notifications off. The only notifications I get are emails, calls, and text messages. Everything else is silenced. And so I have to actually go into the app to look at my notifications. And I have noticed a huge impact since I've done this. I started doing this probably about 2 years ago because I was always on my phone. Like whenever I saw that someone liked something or someone commented, I would immediately open up the app, not even look at the notification, and then just start scrolling. And then I got lost in that mindless scrolling that we tend to get into. And so by turning off those notifications, I still sometimes mindlessly scroll, but it's happening a lot less because I don't have those distractions always popping up. Other distractions could be work. Sometimes when you're at home and you're in home mode, work things can pop up and that can be a distraction. I know sometimes even procrastinating things can be a distraction for me. Like if I need to clean something or if I need to do something for work or whatever, but I choose to play in my planner instead and I'm procrastinating that, at that moment, my planner is a distraction because I don't want to do something else that I really should be doing. And so it's important to identify what those distractions are and then come up with ways that you can limit those distractions. With the whole procrastination thing, that's kind of went away since I focused on my top 3 priorities and I'm prioritizing things because I don't feel as overwhelmed, and I also have scheduled planner time. So I can't justify anymore procrastinating by doing hobby type things. And so, like I said, you just have to figure out what works for you in limiting those distractions. Number 6 is to reflect regularly. This also looks different for who you are, season of life, all that fun stuff that comes into account when we're doing things like this. You can reflect daily if you want. You could reflect weekly, monthly, quarterly if you really want to go that long. I would definitely recommend either daily or weekly to start out. Maybe monthly, I don't know. I personally do it weekly. At the end of each week, so on Sundays, sometimes Saturdays or Sundays, it depends. On the weekend, I like to sit down with my planner and reflect on my week. In the Moxie Life planner, they do have a reflections page for each week, which is super nice. And so I use that page. I write down my wins, what went well that week, what worked. I talk about what didn't work and why, and then how I can improve that. Any adjustments that I need to make, that type of stuff. And then I always end with gratitude, and I write down what I'm grateful for. And I have found so much help in reflecting weekly to get down to the problems of those distractions or things that aren't working in my life, to make them work and align with what matters most so I can live my intentional life. And it has been so great. I also reflect monthly because there is a monthly reflections page as well, which helps me get more of like a big picture of my month, which I just love to see that big picture. The weekly stuff is like the more like day-to-day microscopic, like what can I fix to make my week better. But then monthly, it kind of like looks more like that big picture of like the progress that I'm making. So I definitely recommend that you try both and see what works for you. But I definitely suggest to take some time. It does not have to take a lot of time, 10 minutes tops, to reflect on how things are going in your life, what's working, what's not working, and how can you make it even better. Number 7 is practice gratitude, which is kind of a spin-off of number 6 with reflecting, but gratitude is huge. I have found that practicing gratitude has definitely changed my mindset on a lot of different things. I always try to be a optimistic, positive person, but sometimes life is hard, and it's hard to look at the bright side of things when you're struggling. But with gratitude in my mindset, that's shifted because now I'm more concerned with the things that I'm grateful for, or not even grateful for, but just those small nuggets or just like little blessings that I see throughout the day. I'm looking for those and celebrating those more. Like I said, I do write my gratitude each week. There are some times though where I'm just feeling overly grateful, and I write things down daily in my planner, or I'll make notes in my phone of something I'm grateful for. I also like to reflect about my day each night when I am getting ready for bed, so part of my PM routine. When I'm in the shower, I just kind of brain dump everything, like how my day went, all of that stuff. And that's normally when I start reflecting in my mind and visualizing the things that I'm grateful for from that day. And it's not like this huge practice that is being done where everyone's seeing it. It's something very personal. And so once again, like with the reflecting, I want you to find something that works. How can you practice gratitude daily, weekly, however you want to do it in your life to help you shift your mind and really focusing on those good things in your life? Number 8 is mindful communication. Mindful communication is one great way on building stronger connections and relationships. And this is something that I'm still practicing and figuring out. It's actually one of the action steps I've put with my annual goal with my friends and family, more specifically with my family, my husband and my daughter, just because I want to feel more present when we are together. I want to not be distracted by my phone when like we're talking or eating dinner or watching movies, whatever. I want to be present. When my husband's telling me about his day, I want him to know that I'm actively listening to him. And then after he's done talking, I'm going to thoughtfully respond. That's something that I am working on, is actively listening and then thoughtfully responding. I feel like sometimes with how busy we feel, we halfway listen and we listen to respond, if that makes sense. Like we're just waiting till they're done to say something back, to check that off. Like, hey, well, I responded to you. And I want to be more thoughtful and intentional of what I say to my husband or my daughter or whoever I'm talking to, really, and really build that strong connection with them. So that's something I want to encourage you guys to practice, is just more mindful communication. Also just being open with people, I feel like, too. One thing that I struggle with, because I am like the master planner keeper of our house, is I'll write things down. I know what's going on, but I don't always communicate those things to my husband as well as I probably should, just because, first off, I know he might forget. By 99% chance he will forget. And I'll have to remind him again, but I'm like, well, I know what's going on, so it's going to happen. And then they come up and it hits my husband by surprise, and I kind of feel bad sometimes. And so just being more mindful about communicating when things are happening, and then just in the practice of actually communicating, be more mindful about it. Number 9 is to simplify your life. Simplifying my life in the past year has brought me so much clarity. I feel a lot of that has to come from the act that we actually moved last year. And so decluttering was a huge thing that my husband and I did. We got rid of so much stuff, and we honestly could probably get rid of a lot more stuff. But just from that, the physical clutter in my life has diminished, and I just feel so much better about life. Like, it's really hard, I feel like, to function in a cluttered space. And so when things are simplified and you're living in the most minimalist way that you are most comfortable with, I just feel like it's so nice. To go off of that, though, physical clutter is not the only clutter that we have. We also have mental clutter. And so you need to simplify your brain a little bit and get rid of that mental clutter, whether you need to brain dump things down on paper, journal, talk things out with someone. Really take the time to just simplify your life in every aspect of that idea, because I can promise you it's going to bring you so much clarity and you're not going to feel stuck. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I feel cluttered or like things aren't simplified, I just feel stuck and I don't know where to go. And so just taking the time to simplify things really makes everything so much better. Lastly, number 10 is ask why before you buy. This is a new concept to me, so I'm really excited to kind of talk about it because I have started practicing it, but this is actually my financial goal for 2024, is ask why before you buy. And what this means is just, it kind of goes back to being mindful about things. You're mindfully spending your money. And this really comes into play for me with hobbies like planning, because I, in the past, would always justify spending money on planning supplies like stickers, washi tape, other planners, even though I had one already, because it made me happy. Planning makes me happy, so I need this. That's how I would justify it. I know that sounds silly, but that's what I would do. And then I ended up with all this stuff that I never used, and then that brought on clutter, and I felt stressed, and like all of this stuff just like started to pile up into a snowball. And I really had to take a step back and process what I was going to do next. And that led to me wanting to do a no spend year. And that's where the phrase ask why before you buy comes into place, because I need to ask myself, why do I want this? Why do I need this actually? How is it going to serve me? How am I going to use it? That type of thing, instead of mindlessly just buying things because things are launching or there's a sale or whatever it may be. Ask why before you buy. I've started doing this and it's helped me a lot. First off, not spend as much money, but also be grateful for what I have. Back in December, I took some time to plan out my whole year of stickers. So I know what I'm doing for the whole year. I have a Google Doc all typed up, so I have no reason to buy stickers in 2024. And this has really helped me because now when I see cute stickers on sale, I can remind myself I don't need them now. It's okay. I'm not gonna just buy stickers to stow away for who knows how many years and then never use them because new stuff comes out. And so I wanna be more current with that. But that is my last thing. And really one way that I have found living a more intentional life is just being more intentional with how you spend your money. And that looks different for everyone. But I use the planning stuff because this is a planning channel. But that's also really like where I struggle the most with spending extra money is on my hobbies in planning supplies. All right, you guys, that is it. There are 10 ways or 10 tips of living a more intentional life. If you liked any of these tips or found any of them helpful, let me know by liking this video or commenting below what you got out of this, any inspirational nuggets, if you will. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these like how-to tip lifestyle videos that I want to do more of in 2024. I hope that this video has helped you in some way figure out or think about how you can live a more intentional life, even if your word of the year is not intentional. And I just hope that we can crush our goals together, which is one of the ways that you can be intentional. And so until next time, guys, I will see you all later and happy planning.